Are you an old school Sonic fanboy or Sonic fangirl? If you are, you're probably a crack addict. Now it's worth noting, before we go any further, your crack addiction is known as Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, you're probably wondering what exactly I'm talking about, and the thing is, Sonic games are known to be bad nowadays. Back in the day, they were great, but ever since the 3D games came out, they've had a bit of a lukewarm reception at best, with the exception of Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. Back in the day of the Genesis, it was very easy to get that Sonic crack addiction. Sonic was so cool, he had such good attitude, and he was such a good rival to Mario. Basically, everything Sonic did was a way to shit on Mario, and that was so cool. And I'll admit, I was guilty of also getting on the Sonic hype train. For the longest time, I was quite the Sonic fanboy also. I still kinda am, to be fair. Now, the Sonic fanbase has always been known to be a rather unpleasant bunch, and that's mostly because they tend to be very cannibalistic, I guess you'd say, in the sense that every time a new Sonic game is about to come out, or is announced, Sonic fans kind of get really excited about the idea of a new Sonic game. We're gonna finally get that good 3D Sonic game we've always wanted, and then the game ends up being bad, generally speaking. I mean, we get games where you're playing as a werehog, or you get a bad trio system, or you get Sonic the Hedgehog 06. And then everyone's like, man, Sonic was only good back in the Genesis days. Whatever happened to the good Sonic games? Well, here's the thing. Were they really that great? The Genesis Sonic games had mastered the art of addiction. Although it is worth noting that it's really Sonic 1 and 2 that did this, more so than Sonic 3. I'll go into why at a later point. They both start with fairly simple stages that have different levels to traverse them. Generally, the higher you stay, the more bling you get, but the lower you go and the more you just press forward. From there, they ramp up the difficulty at a steady pace, but there is something that tends to be consistent. Bad damage placement. I use the term damage because sometimes it's enemies and sometimes it's more of objects like spikes. Now this is exactly where that addiction kicks in. You see, you'll turn off your system and come back later, and start off in Green Hill Zone or Emerald Hill Zone based on which game you're playing. And from there, you get to explore a little bit more. I mean, you've already played through the stage once or twice, and why not see what else you can find? Or why not blast as fast as you can? You're pretty used to the course at this point. Every stage after the first stage in the first two Sonic games tend to get a little meaner with their enemy placement. You tend to have to take your time a little bit more and be a little more platform focused, because otherwise you're going to run into an enemy, or run into a spike, or fall into a pit. But that first stage in both Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 have very little objects in your way. Few things that can actually stop you from going super fast. Yeah, you have the occasional pause, but otherwise you get the full exhilaration of going at top speeds through a platforming game, and it feels great. And because of that, you keep coming back and playing it over and over again, despite the fact that the game tends to get a little more lackluster as the game goes on. Sonic 1 in particular doesn't pull any punches. It takes you straight from Green Hill Zone to Marble Garden Zone. And to be frank, I don't like speeding through Marble Garden Zone because I'm afraid I'm going to fall into lava, or get crushed by something, or have a falling chandelier of spikes hit me. It completely ruins the pace of the second stage. But if you know where everything is because you've been replaying through the game, you get a little more used to it. But let's be honest for a moment here. Do you like Hilltop Zone? If you played Sonic 2 and you like Hilltop Zone, you're lying. I know you're lying, because everyone I've ever talked to has said that's one of the worst stages in the game. And why? Because it does exactly what Marble Garden Zone does. It completely slows you way the hell down. And that's not very fun. You want to go fast. So at this point you're probably wondering to yourself, sure, Sonic 1 and 2 may get worse as you play through the games, but we still love them, and you're probably wrong, because you're an idiot. However, what does this have to do with a crack addiction? So, to be fair, maybe it is a little extreme for me to suggest that you have a crack addiction specifically, but I would wager you have an addictive personality. The key experience that Sonic offers from other platformers, say for example Mario, is exhilaration, which I continue to come back to, exhilaration. As I've said before, after beating the first stage a few times, you get better, and eventually you die to one of the harder stages, or perhaps you have to turn the game off and come back and play later, so therefore you have to start over. Here lies the true secret of Sonic games. Sonic games get better the more you play them. So let's take a look at Sonic's biggest rival, Mario, and his games. Generally speaking, when you play through a Mario game, you're not expected to go fast. I mean, you can, and you feel pretty good if you do go fast, but generally speaking, just seeing some of the crazy enemies or the crazy level layouts is still pretty cool. And when you replay them, it feels pretty cool to actually get better at the game also. However, it's still a fun experience to begin with. You don't get frustrated with the platforming because that's what you're in for. You're not looking for that speed. I'm probably repeating myself a lot here. Now in contrast, Sonic games want you to go fast because Sonic is cool and you want to be cool enough to run loop-de-loops like how he would. Every time you get hit, it ruins your momentum and it feels like you screwed up the entire level. When you can stay high, you feel like you're a skilled platformer, and when you can stay lower, you feel speedy. So even if you miss a jump and end up on a lower level of the game, but you keep moving, you don't feel like you've screwed up in the game. When you've played a level enough so that you remember enemy placement, you can dodge it or smash right through it and keep going, and that feels exhilarating. So, as you can see, Sonic games feel like they get better the more you play them because it feels exhilarating to be better at the game. The reason why I excluded Sonic 3 along with Sonic and Knuckles for that matter is because Sonic 3 offers a heavier focus on platforming from the get-go, and generally better stage layouts. In addition, it offers save files so that you didn't have to start all over whenever you start playing the game. Instead, you just start off from where you left off, and access to stage select upon beating the game as well. Now that's not to say that Sonic 3 and Knuckles doesn't offer an exhilarating time as you get better, but there was also the addition to new power-ups, secret bonus stages, and the zones actually had connecting acts that made the game feel like a lot more was going on to begin with, making it a better gaming experience in general. Now, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 would offer more of a push-forward and win method in many eyes, which can feel very exciting in its own right. I personally love Sonic Adventure 2. But without the branching ways to reach the end, you often lack that feeling of skill for finding the secret paths, or for taking the hard way to reach the end of the stage. In addition, you were also faced with playing drastically different characters and mechanics which were very off-putting. The real saving grace for them was that the controls themselves were really spot on for these games. Unfortunately from there, the games kinda continued to get worse. Sonic Heroes was short, glitchy, and repetitive. Sonic Unleashed was too much focus on the forward momentum thing in the first half, and then a slow beat-em-up platforming in the other. Sonic 06 was an unfinished pile of trash that was a fucking piece of shit. I don't understand what makes a company think, hey, let's just produce this game, but it's not done yet. Ship it out anyways. No one's gonna mind. I mean, fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Everyone loves. What were they actually thinking? And what's worse is that you'd think they'd learn their lesson. You'd think they would have been like, well, we better not do that again. That would be, nope, Sonic Boom. And that's beautiful. Let's just do the same thing we were criticized for one of the worst fucking mistakes ever made, and we're gonna do it again. Despite all the attempts that Sega makes to ruin their mascot, when it comes to the Sonic fanbase, we just love that feeling. We need to get that fix for exhilaration. That's what we need. And every time a new game gets announced, we get excited again. Because maybe finally this time we're really going to get that fix again. And most of the time we don't. But hey, what can I say? That doesn't stop us from still loving the blue hedgehog that runs really fast. It's really worth noting that the classic Sonic games weren't perfect. As much as I like to say I love the Sonic games, well, Sonic 3 might be perfect, because, I mean, Sonic 3, like, geez, that game's awesome. But, still, that's personal bias. Sonic 1 and 2, and I guess 3, aren't perfect, but they are fun when you plug in the game and play it. And that's kind of the big difference between Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and then any of the 3D Sonic games. A lot of times, you'll start playing through a level, and you're like, this isn't as fun. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, they were always fun when you played them. It didn't matter. And as you get better at them, you could speed through better and you get that exhilaration and it would be a better game because of it. Like, you have to at least start fun. You can't just say, well, the game gets fun eventually. That's not a good game design. Who knows, maybe Sega's learning their lesson. Sonic Mania is right around the corner and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe Sega's learned their lesson. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. All we can do now is just wait and see. And with that, you've reached the end of the video, so give yourselves a round of applause. Yay! Woohoo! Yay! So, I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, maybe leave a comment, maybe even subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, or you just subscribed now, you should share it on your Facebook, Twitter, whatever media you use, because I like attention. Anyways, I appreciate the fact you stuck around, and feel free to maybe check out some of my other videos. With that, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.